Welcome to InCity HotSpots. We have another great podcast episode. Today's episode is Champions Unleashed, Inspiring Youth Program Stories. Today, our special guest, we have Mr. Adrian Cervantes. Mr. Adrian Cervantes, he is a representative with the Brownsville Cowboys. Mr. Adrian, pleasure to have you with us today. You want to introduce a little bit yourself and your organization?
Yeah, how you doing, Sergio? Thanks for having me on. Yeah, like you mentioned, I'm a volunteer. I'm one of the volunteer head coaches with the Brownsville Cowboys. Basically, it's a youth Brownsville Cowboys. It's a youth football program geared for kids starting from age 4 all the way to age 11. We have 4 divisions, which is our flag division, our Tykes division, rookies, and juniors division. It's broken down into age groups. Our flag division is for our 4 and our 5-year-old boys and girls. Tykes is for 6, 7-year-olds. Rookie division is for 8 and 9. Juniors is for 10 and 11-year-olds. Right now we're actually gearing up to start our fall season. Fall season kicks off. We're going to kick off our practices here at the beginning of August.
You've been involved with the Brownsville Cowboys for about, this is what,
Uh,
your second year
I've been with
officially?
them since the fall of 2021.
2021.
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh,
And tell me a little bit about your story. How did you get involved with the Brownsville Cowboys?
well, I started off mainly like most of these parents start off with us, you know, trying to get your kid involved into some youth program. I had my son Sebastian. He actually went out for baseball. He started playing t-ball. He liked it. Then I found out through one of my friends about the Brownsville Cowboys. So we went out there. He tried it out. Uh, he was like, like some of our kids. They're a little timid at first, but he's grown into the sport pretty good. Like I said, that was in the fall, which was around July. We started around July of 2021. Mijo he was a small kid. He was chiquito. He was, I believe, 6. He was 6 going on 7 when he first started. And then they were looking for volunteer coaches, and I raised my hand, and next thing I know, so I'm involved with as a volunteer coach.
Awesome. So you went started off as a parent, and then now you're the head coach, correct? You're the head coach for which division?
Right now, I'm head coach for the rookies division,
For the rookies division, which is
which is our
the
8 and 9 year
eight and
olds.
9 year olds. Awesome. So yeah, I remember about a year ago. About a year ago, uh, we had a couple of we had a talk, right? As how your experience was as a parent, right, and how your
Yeah,
son was enjoying, tackle football at such a young age and learning
yeah,
learning learning the ropes, and how opportunities come whether we want them or not, right?
yeah,
Sometimes
yeah. I
an
mean, sometimes.
opportunity comes your way and you embraced it,
Mhm.
and so I've heard you've been doing a very good job, right? A very good job embracing the challenge, and it takes a special person to have the patience to work with little ones,
Oh yeah,
but
it does. It does,
communicating
but
with young kids is different than communicating with adults, right? You have to
oh yeah,
strategize in how can I teach these kids at such a young age, right? What
Mhm.
words can I use? How are they going to understand me? It is a challenge, but you've
Yes.
met the challenge, and I know you've had a little bit of success, right, with your program. You want to talk a little bit about some of the success that you've had so far?
Uh, well, let's see. In the fall of 21, I actually didn't become a head coach with the organization till mm, my first full season as a head coach was actually just in the fall of 22. Which was this past fall season. That was the first time me and the guys that are part of my group, like we took over as the from the beginning of the season. We were blessed, man. That season we were very blessed. We finished, I believe, 7-1. We finished 7-1 that season with our type group. It was for with our 6 and 7 year olds. 7-1. We won the RGV district champions, and we went 2 rounds deep into the playoffs. Unfortunately, we didn't get to the ultimate goal, which was a state championship. But regardless, man, 7-1 as a first time head coach with the guys that helped me out, was quite a ride. It was quite a ride. A
Awesome.
lot we had a lot of first timers. A lot of kids that had never played football. But me and the guys, we stepped up to the challenge, man. Like you said before, it is a challenge. Especially when you have a lot of the kiddos that have never played football before. They've never played full contact football. So I was very proud to be part of that group, and I was very proud of the guys that were there with me. For us to take these kids, 7-1, go two rounds deep into the playoffs. It was a good experience for them. Out of that group, we had, I want to say, 24 kids that season. Out of those 24, at the end of the season, they had the our all-star team. Some of these kids went out there and they tried out for the all-star team, and we actually had 4 kids that made it to that all-star team. Which was also a good experience for them.
You've had some good success with the kids, right? You said you had about 24 football players in that one
Hmm.
team,
Hmm.
and it's it's a great experience, right? I've experienced coaching tackle football, at the middle school level, and just it is very rewarding at the end of the season, knowing that where you started as a coach from week one to where the
Hmm.
kids finished the last week, and the development that they had, right? Throughout the development at the end of the season, right?
Yeah.
The not only the skills that they learned, the techniques that they learned. There's a lot to learn in the game of football, especially tackle, right? So
Hmm.
everybody has a role, and it really is a team concept, right?
Yeah.
If everyone does their job correctly, then success will come their way, and you all were able to have some success
Yeah.
because I'm pretty sure kids were listening and they were doing what they were told, and they're learning, and it's a very rewarding feeling at the end of the season. I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
you can relate to that, right? The how what they overcame and how well they performed, right? It's
Oh
a
yeah.
game, it's fun at the end of the day. And but the Brownsville Cowboys, they do have a little bit of, they've been around for a while, right?
Oh yes.
You want to
Yes.
talk a little bit of what's the history behind the Brownsville Cowboys, more or less?
Brownsville Cowboys. It was started by our president Luis Rosales and his wife Lisette Rosales. They've been doing this they're actually going into their 14th fall season, which is about to kick off here in August, like I mentioned. Great people, man. Great people. They actually had their kids start with the program. Their kids essentially aged out of the program, because, like I said, it only goes up to 11-year-olds. But we're very lucky to have them as our presidents, because even after their kids aged out, they've still kept it going. They've kept it going, and because of the other kids that followed their kids, you know, and it's season after season, man. They're still there. It takes a lot. It takes a lot. I'm fortunate enough to be helping a little bit more behind the scenes of the organization, and seeing what it entails to get the whole season going. Ordering uniforms, helmets, getting everything organized, getting kids registered. It takes a lot. It takes a lot, and everything that they've done to this point. They're there. They've been keeping it going. A lot of us parents, we do it for our kids. But they've gone beyond that. They've gone beyond keeping this organization going for the youth of Brownsville. So we're very thankful for that. They've been keeping it going. Like I said, 14 seasons, starting our 14th season. And every year has its challenges, but we face those challenges and we keep it going, man.
Good.
We
I
keep it
mean,
going.
to it is a big task, and to take on that task,
It
and
is.
thankful. I'm pretty sure they're thankful. The founders are thankful that the parents have stepped up to the plate as well,
Oh
because
yes,
it does
yes.
take an army. I
Yeah,
agree.
it
It takes
does.
an
It
army.
does.
24, 20, 25 kids per team, 30 kids per team, 35 kids per team. It takes
Hmm.
an army, of volunteers
Yes.
to continue on the mission, right? On the mission.
Yes.
What do you think is what is the foundational mission for the Brownsville Cowboys? What is it
Family.
that family?
Family. We try to base it on a family environment. We try to really keep it, as a family. I mean, it's it's something else, man. A lot of these kids, they come in shy, timid, basically like my son. He was a shy, quiet type. And then it's just something else to see, dude, at the end of the season, how these kids just come together. These kids, they're building friendships that are gonna last throughout their stay with us in Taifa or with the Brownsville Cowboys. And hopefully it keeps going after that. I know, as I mentioned before, the Cowboys have been around for 13, close to 13 years. And a lot of these kids that, you still hear the stories of where these kids, they're out there playing middle school ball now. They're playing high school ball now. And they're still friends. That those friendships started as Brownsville Cowboys. So that's awesome to hear about. you know um I know at the moment right now, just this past football season, the Brownsville Veterans High School, Brownsville Memorial Veterans.
Hmm.
They had a real good run. They had a real good run in their season. I believe they went 4 rounds deep into the state playoffs, which I think, I don't know if it's been done before by any Brownsville team, but they went 4 rounds deep. They actually brought a playoff game to Sam Stadium. A state playoff game to Sam Stadium. Well, out of that group, I believe we had about 13 kids on that varsity team that started with the Brownsville Cowboys.
Oh wow.
So that's something. I mean, to know that the Brownsville Cowboys start laying that foundation at that young age. You get them going through the flag program, through the Tykes program, the rookies, juniors. Eventually they go on to play middle school ball. They go on to play high school ball, and a lot of these kids stay together. A lot of the kids live in the same area and they stay together and they go off to play middle school and high school ball together. And they already have that foundation set. To where they get to middle school, where a lot of the kids that might have not been lucky enough to start off with, in a youth football program, you know our kids did. So that might give them that little edge, to, hey, well, I know what's going on here now. As opposed to a kid that might have missed out on playing youth football. So I mean, it's something that we try to teach these kids.
I agree. I agree. Continuing in that conversation, setting the foundation as early as possible does produce great results. I'm a big believer in that. The data shows that. The sooner being an educator, we see it. We learn. in some of our trainings as well and seminars that the sooner we can get these kids, to start learning certain concepts, certain
Mm-hmm.
skills in life, right?
Mm-hmm.
It does carry over by the time they get into, middle school, high school, when they graduate. These skills, a lot of these skills are lifelong skills
Yeah.
that they take with them throughout the years, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you spoke a little bit about family. The mission statement for the Brownsville Cowboys is about family. And yes, these kids build relationships. They start building these relationships at the age of 4, 5, 6,
Mm-hmm.
7 years old. And not
Mm-hmm.
only are the athletes building relationships, but the parents as well are,
Yes.
building relationships with each other, right? That forms that family atmosphere. And of
Mm-hmm.
course, you all stick together. And as the years go over, parents want to know, okay, well, where are you sending your
Yeah. Yeah.
your athlete, and well, they've been playing together, they already know each other, they have great chemistry,
Mm-hmm.
let's try to keep them together. And thankfully, the Brownsville Cowboys has had some of that success,
Mm-hmm.
to where the family bond is built early, and it carries on, like you said, into middle school and high school. And great testimonial that a lot of these kids are able to achieve great state recognition, right,
Yes.
in football.
Yeah.
Being here in the valley, sometimes football has been a challenge, but
Yeah. It has.
not if you put in the work, not if you put in the work at an early age, and
Mm-hmm.
and do what some of these organizations are doing, right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
The Brownsville Cowboys are participate in what, in the Taifa League, correct?
Yeah. The Taifa League, the
Taifa
Texas
League.
Youth what's the Texas Youth Football Association.
Okay,
It's
and
based out of San Antonio.
out of San Antonio, how
Yeah.
many tackle football organizations like the Brownsville Cowboys, more or less round figure, are in your area? Do you know?
Here in the Valley, in the Taifa, we have, I believe,
What
anywhere
about in
between
Brownsville? Before we hit Valley, what about in
in,
Brownsville?
in Brownsville participating with Taifa. It's just us, the Brownsville Cowboys.
Okay,
There's other youth football programs in the area, but with Taifa, it's only the Brownsville Cowboys.
okay. And value, and if so, in Brownsville, Texas,
Mhm.
there's one one program, one organization. Now in the Valley, you all compete amongst how many, more or less?
We got about roughly about 14 to 15 other Taifa teams.
Okay,
The closest one next to us is in San Benito. We San Benito Greyhounds. We play the Harlingen Wolfpack. We play the Mercedes Tigers, Donna Rebels. There's teams in Westaco. There's teams in Edinburgh and McAllen, PHJ area, Alamo. And once we get to the playoffs, we play teams from San Antonio. There's a lot more teams in San Antonio than but we compete against them in the playoffs. Just well, there's two seasons in Taifa, which is a spring season and the fall season. Spring season is a six game season. It starts off in April. That one finishes off at the end of May. At the end of May, we have a big tournament called the Spring Bowl. It's played in McAllen at the McAllen Sports Park. That one we have a combination of teams from the Rio Grande Valley and from San Antonio. So they all come down here. And then we just have a big old weekend long tournament. We were blessed to have three divisions represent the Brownsville Cowboys at that tournament this past May, which was our flag team, our Tykes team, and our rookies team. Our flag team, they actually made it to the championship game. They played in the championship game, so we're proud of them. And they
fantastic.
they went 6-0. They went 6-0 this past spring season, and also we're very proud of them. Our Tykes division actually went 5-0. I'm sorry, 5-1. 5-1, and they also made the Spring Bowl. Our rookies team, they went 3-3, and we also made the Spring Bowl. So, and it's an experience. It's a real good experience for a lot of these young kids. To go out there and compete with not just teams from from our own backyard. You get to compete against teams from from San Antonio, from that are not here from the Valley. From I know our rookie team, we played against the New Braunfels Cougars. So that was something else. To play somebody else that's not from here from the Valley. And it was a real good game. Unfortunately, we lost by 1 point, but the experience that these kids got, and our Tykes team, igual, they played a team from San Antonio. Our flag team, they played the Cornerstone Warriors, I believe they were called. But and it was a close game in the championship. But for them to make it to the championship game, you got to beat out all these teams from San Antonio and from the Valley. So we're proud of them. We're real proud of our flag team. And we're proud of all our divisions.
Good. What are some of the things that you speaking about the recent success that they've been having, right? These divisions and on the flag football side, the Tigers, and what are some of the things that stand out that you all do well, right, to get these kids ready to have this success, right? What are some of the things that stand out, right, from the Brownsville Cowboys?
Our coaches, man, the time that they dedicate to the teams. The our head coach on our flag side, on our tyke side, on our junior side, and all the guys that help out. All those volunteer parents. It's like you said. It's an army of people that takes to get these kids ready. And the volunteers that give up their time. I actually had somebody ask me one time, goes, "How much do they pay you to do the coaching?" I'm like, "We don't get paid. It's all volunteer work. But it's the reward in its own is seeing these kids go off into the playoffs, and being there with other teams, with other teams that have the same success as you do. The reward when you see these kids outside of the practice and outside of the games, and they're like, "Hey, coach," and they greet you, with a smile. Their faces light up when they see, the coaches outside of the field, outside of the game. That's the rewarding part. To knowing that you made that small impact in their lives. At the end of the day, where you might have not teach them a whole lot about the game, but maybe they stuck around because, hey, you know what, coach taught me this. Coach taught me not to give up. Coach taught me no matter what, just don't give up. Which is something that I've always told my son. I tell a lot of our players, and I tell my son, it's like it's gonna get hard sometimes, but don't give up because you're not in the fight by yourself. You got your brothers with you, got your gridiron brothers with you, fighting that same fight alongside with you. And that's what builds that family, that family environment. And you see it. You see it as the season goes on. As us coaches, we're there. And trying to we drill them with the same thing over and over. Don't give up. You know, you're representing you're representing yourself. You're representing your family. You're representing the city of Brownsville. When we go play off somewhere else, and you see them rally together. That's the rewarding part. But that's what it. To me, the going back to your original question, that's like, what does it take for this program to be successful? Is the the time and the effort that our volunteers put in every day. That we have every time that we're out there on the field with these. Like you said, I mean, it's different. It's different coaching youth. Because you have to have some patience. You have to have a lot of patience. I'm not gonna say there's times where it's like you feel like, oh my god, what am I doing? But no, I mean, it's the volunteers, man. I've always said, when we won the seven, and when we finished 7-1, and everybody's congratulating the head coach, I'm like, hey, it wasn't just me. It was the guys that are there with me. It's the guys that are, because I'm not a one man coaching staff. It took me and the other guys. And working together as a team. And luckily right now we have a really good handful of volunteer coaches. And I think that's what it's helped us be successful right now.
Opportunity for new players, right? Opportunity for new future Brownsville Cowboys. Where can people find information or contact information for the Brownsville Cowboys?
They can find us on Facebook,
Oh,
Brownsville Cowboys. Just type in Brownsville Cowboys, and you'll see us. You'll see our Facebook page. We try to keep it up to date with different information. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. We have a TikTok account, and also just look for us. Brownsville Cowboys. You can't miss our logo. It's big old blue star with a BC on it. You know, but yeah, I mean, we're on Facebook, and you can message us directly on Facebook. And our Facebook page also has our team phone number on there, which you can also reach out to. And we're always available to answer anybody's questions.
fantastic. What about practices? Y'all practice here locally in Brownsville?
Yes, we're gonna be practicing at the Brownsville Sports Park. Our practices kick off in August. Right now, actually, we're having our summer camps. We're having free summer camps, which is basically open up to anybody in Brownsville, Olmito, Los Fresnos. We have people from San Benito, from Rio Hondo. We open it up to everybody, and it's completely free. We're out there. Our next one's actually coming up July 12th, 6:30 to 8, and we'll be at the Brownsville Sports Park. And again, that's free to everybody. If you want to bring out your kids so you can kind of get a feel for what we do, that'd be the best place to bring them out to. And again, it's open for kids 4 to 11, boys and girls are welcome.
What are the time frames? In the afternoon, during the day?
Yes, in the afternoon, 6:30 to 8.
6:30 to 8. Okay. And
Hmm.
if anyone has information, like you said, they can go into y'all's Facebook
Yeah, yeah,
and
they
go
can
from there,
come out.
right?
They find us on Facebook and shoot us a message.
All right. Is there anything else you would like to share uh, from the Brownsville Cowboys organization to the local community?
Uh, Bring out your kids. Bring out your kids. Like I said, bring them out to the free camp. A lot of these kids, a lot of folks don't know about it. Much like I had never really heard about it till somebody told me about it. Bring out your kids to keep them active. Get them out of the house, even if it's for that one Wednesday. From for that hour and a half. Get them off the PlayStation, get them off the Xbox. Get him out there running. Even if he doesn't sign up, with us for the season, but at least bring him out to one of our camps. Get him a good little workout, get the blood pumping, get that heart pumping. And never know, he might be a future Brownsville Cowboy.
Let's talk a little bit about fundraising, right? What are some of the fundraisers that you all you utilize throughout
We
the
Throughout
years?
the seasons we sell raffle tickets. The parents get to sell raffle tickets, which every ticket that they sell, a certain amount of that sale goes towards the fee that entails having to sign up, for to play the football. I know in the fall we have a big raffle where we raffle off four home game tickets to the Dallas Cowboy Thanksgiving game. I believe this fall season they play the Commanders in the Thanksgiving game up in Arlington, and we'll be raffling off four tickets to that home game. That's something that we raffle off every fall. We raffle off tickets to the Cowboy games. And just other. I believe we have three, maybe four other prizes that we raffle off with. Aparte from aside from those tickets. And
Awesome.
again, it's to help the parents. Because sometimes we're a little strapped for money, so that helps out a lot.
What about community support? Is there any community support from being the one and only um, tackle football, one of the few tackle football teams in the city, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Community support. Is there a little bit of community support given, or could there be more community support?
I
That
think there could be a little bit more community support. There
okay,
could be more. Because at the end of the day, we're not doing this for ourselves. We're doing this for our kids. We're doing it for it keeps these kids active throughout the spring season and the fall season. It's going to keep them active for the, for like for right now for the fall. It's going to keep them active from August all the way through, God willing, November. Because we practice 3 times a week, 3 times a week for an hour and a half, and also that keeps your kid off of those video games for that hour and a half. Those 3 times a week. It keeps them active. So I mean, we would like to see a little bit more support from, possibly from some of our city leaders, to keep these programs going.
I
You know,
agree.
so
There, it is a these are our future leaders of tomorrow,
mhm,
right?
yeah,
We speak about that often, and these are experiences that our youth are able to experience at such a young age, and being able to provide experiences for more youth, right?
yeah,
Is always would always be better, right? Why not?
hmm,
Why not
yeah,
get these kids started earlier?
hmm,
Through sports, learning competition, learning life lessons. Learning the how to fight through the goods and the bads when you win, when
yeah,
you lose. All of these
exactly.
are great training, lifelong training skills that we're able to teach our kids through programs like the Brownsville Cowboys, right? Through
Hmm,
sports. So
yeah,
it is. I agree. Community support can always be welcome, right?
yes,
And there's a lot of expenses that also goes, especially in a program like the Cowboys. Having experience in being a tackle football coach, there's a lot of equipment that's needed.
oh
A
yes,
lot,
yeah,
it gets expensive quickly,
hmm,
right? And everything's for the safety of the student athlete at the end of
hmm,
the day, right? So
yeah.
helmets and
Helmet,
you have your
shoulder
helmet,
pad,
shoulder pads,
mouthpieces.
mouthpieces, girdles, uniforms,
Hmm,
knee pads. So I mean, cleats, football cleats, socks,
hmm,
and
oh
the
yeah,
belt, and and then cost. Everything's gone up
yes,
in the
and
nation,
that's the
right?
thing. Hmm,
Inflation, gas prices, hotel prices. When the students have to travel, when the athletes need to travel to another city or locally or to another city, a little bit
yeah.
further away, 4 or 5
Yeah,
hour drive.
and because we do travel, especially in the fall, since we have it's an 8 game season, so we have 4 home games, which we're blessed to play here in Brownsville, and we have 4 away games. Those 4 away games could be as close as San Benito, it can be as far away as Mission. So yeah, I mean it does take, it takes a bit. It
Yeah,
takes us.
it takes funding. It takes funding
Yeah.
as well, and
Hmm,
if everybody can pull through as a family, then it
hmm,
makes things a little bit easier. But
hmm.
community support can always help strengthen and take the burden away from
Yes.
a lot of these extra add-ons that come along, right? And so,
Yeah.
and a lot of times it's unexpected add-ons sometimes. So it's always good to have a safety net, right? A safety
Hmm.
net to be able to continue, with the mission of the Brownsville Cowboys. So I'm
Yeah.
excited. I'm excited for you all.
So
I'm
are we.
grateful that you all are having some great success. And anything that we can continue doing, working together, and I'm glad you all were able to join us on our podcast. Anytime we can,
Thank you for having
help you
us.
all promote your organization, organizations that are doing good, that are giving back to the community.
Mhm.
Y'all's mission statement, family. Why not grow the family a lot
Yeah.
bigger? It can be done.
Let's. Yes. Yes, it
It can
can.
be
It,
done.
it can.
So I'm
Right now
glad.
we're blessed right now for our fall season. We're up to close to a little bit over 100 kids that have already signed up with us across all 4 divisions, but there's room for more.
Good,
There's
good.
room for
Well,
more.
like Adrian said, if you're looking for information, you can always reach out to their Facebook, Brownsville Cowboys, and you can reach out and get some more information as needed. Now, before we wrap up, Adrian, I'm just gonna ask you a couple of pers- personal. Let's get to know Adrian Cervantes a little bit, right? I'm gonna ask you a question. It's just you're gonna choose one or the other, rain or sunshine.
Sunshine,
Sunshine, chocolate or vanilla.
vanilla,
Vanilla. Phone call or text.
text,
Text. Comedy or drama.
comedy,
Comedy. Early bird or night owl.
uh, early bird,
Early bird. And coffee or tea.
coffee,
Coffee. Summer or winter.
Winter.
Winter. Awesome. Well, Adrian, I appreciate your time. Thank you for joining us on our podcast. Wish you all the best with your future endeavors with the Brownsville Cowboys. Continue
Appreciate it, Sergio.
doing what you do.
Thank you.
Our respects from InCity HotSpots to all the volunteers. We know the amount of time it takes, and a lot of times, our days are busy day to day, and just going the extra mile a little bit.
Mm,
We appreciate that from the outside looking in, right?
yes.
So
So yes,
continue
I
doing continue
yeah.
doing what you all are doing, and you all are on the right track.
Mhm.
And nothing but positive vibes sent y'all's ways from here on out.
No, thank you. And like I said, and I really do want to thank all our volunteers, all our volunteer coaches, all our volunteer team moms, for all the time, man, all the time and dedication that they put into this organization. And
Awesome.
especially a big thank you to our presidents, Liz and Luis, because without them we wouldn't be here. And I want to thank them for keeping it going as long as they've kept it going.
Fantastic. Well, Adrian, I appreciate your time and energy, right? And it
Thank
was great to get to know you a little bit too on the personal side. So
you. All
once
right,
again, thank you from InCity Hotspots, and we'll talk soon.
all right, man. Thank you. Thank you for
Have a
having
good
me.
one. Bye bye.
Likewise.